Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth, shifting you into higher consciousness. A show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, interviews with inspiring guests, experts, and celebrities, intuitive readings, channeled messages, mental health awareness, and hot topics to expand your awareness.
I want to get right to her. So I'm going to introduce Candace Silvers. So Candace Silvers is a world-renowned healer. She is a Silvers healing modality TM teacher and human behavioral expert featured on Gaia and other global platforms with quantified medical miracles. She is a world-renowned healer, human behavioral expert, creator of the Silvers healing modality, and founder of the Silvers Healing Academy. And she's healed thousands of people with chronic pain, digestive issues, cancer diagnoses, loss of vision, countless other serious health concerns. With her expertise in human behavior, she's not only an incredible healer, but she's a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, constantly channeling innovative ideas, solutions, and ways in which we can heal our bodies and our world through a newfound awareness. So love it. That's what we're all about. So can you share your journey on how you got into this and how you became a healer, Candace? And welcome to our show.
It's lovely to be here. It's lovely to meet both of you.
You too.
I'm often asked that question, and I was born like this. It's not something I got into. It's kind of something that got into me or came with me. It's a package deal.
Yeah.
And what I would say wasn't my friend in the beginning, because can you imagine touching someone when you're 7 years old or 11 years old and they tell you they feel better, or their mole went away, or their back doesn't hurt anymore, and you think everyone's making fun of you and playing with you? Always, everyone I ran into, I was raised in Beverly Hills. Everyone I ran into kind of went, oh, hi, Cindy, hi, Jenny, hi, Kim. And I it was never me, but I looked like everyone else. And then I started growing up with, oh, you're just the girl next door. And there was just sort of this non-denominational, I don't know, thing that happened. But I was also born with the inability to read. I was born a vegetarian. I was born with such strange differences to my 4 sisters and my twin sister. So it was even more glaring. It was kind of like the 4 of them and me. And so it pointed out even more that I was other. And so that wasn't a good thing. As I
understand. Go ahead, keep going. I'm relating. Go ahead.
As a teenager, I started having a deep, deep desire to travel to other places. First, it was Ireland, where I knew I had been at another time. From the time I was born, a question ran through me that I could not shake. At 2 years old, 3 years old, what if there was no Earth? What would there be? Well, there would be the planets. Not that I thought that at 2 years old, but it evolved into, what if there was nothing? Then what would there be? Well, even nothing is something, then there would be something. But if there was nothing and there was absolutely nothing, then what would there be? And then there was the terror as a child of like, well, then would I exist, or could I exist, or did I exist, or do I exist? And that never left me. By the time I was 14, I was doing Kundalini yoga. This was early 70s. I'm doing Kundalini yoga in Beverly Hills. Everyone thought I had joined a cult. And with the, Sikhs wearing white turbans. I was born a vegetarian, and they had a restaurant called the Golden Temple, and it was all vegetarian. And I thought I had died and gone to heaven. I was like, wait, these people understand me. So then I wanted to go to India. I ended up spending 10 years in India, taking clients over there. I had a charity there for 10 years. I built a school there and took care of 200 kids.
Wow.
From there, it was Indonesia for about 15 years, and intermittently, Thailand and Kenya and Rwanda and Tanzania and, Italy and Vienna and Prague, and places where I met healers all over the world, mostly fake, but dozens of really powerful human beings like me. And we began to share what we were doing. Even when I worked with the Masai Mara tribe in Kenya, what I noticed is their ability to jump, their modality, their mechanism came from the same place. And I just began to hone what I knew I could do in a way that I wasn't the only one doing it. I wanted to be able to train the world to do it too. I wanted to not just walk around as this sort of egoic, like I can heal your cancer, but how do I teach the world to sing? I.e., how do I teach the world to heal? If I could teach the world to heal, that would replace war, could replace war. If I could teach the world to heal, that would replace insurance and high prices. And instead of arguing and fighting, which has never worked, and yet we continue to do it, if we could learn to stand up, if we could learn to develop something that would immobilize insurance, because if people are going to healers on their corner and those healers are healing broken bones and blindness and cancer, how do they ever get to the hospital? Well, if you're not going to the hospital through supply and demand has to come down. So those of us that do need to go to the hospital to have our breast implants out, or something that a healer can't do, then there is a means by which there is a happy medium. And I will say, I have trained doctors and nurses on 48 different countries, in 48 different countries now, on 6 different continents. So, one grandma can make a difference. I mean, this can be done. When people say, what difference can I make? Or I'm only one, or who's going to listen to me? Or it's just, can I say bullshit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just bullshit. It really is the ego afraid to meet itself, not its identity.
Wow. We're honored to have you.
Yeah.
Eden can relate. Tell her how you can relate, Eden.
Relate in which, okay, now I'm like,
also,
which way?
Like you felt like you were born.
Oh, earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, just because feeling like you didn't fit in, or I felt I didn't fit in. I felt like an alien in my family. And I'm a medium, and that was my alien. But it was not accepted. Um, probably because I didn't accept it either. But yeah, I was just different. I was too much. I was too sensitive. I felt too much. So yeah, so I just felt like when you gave your story, it it was just you were speaking about my life, my upbringing. So yeah, that's how I can relate. And on a totally different note, I know Kathy.
My twin?
Yeah. Oh, she's your twin. Oh, I didn't know which one was your twin. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I met her maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And we're not social or anything, but I've like seen her a few times, and she's lovely. She's sweet. Yeah. So
yeah, we're absolutely nothing alike.
it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. but boy, do I love her.
Good. Because I mean, I think one of the other things is for me that makes sense in what you're saying is that I had to get to a point where I had to accept everyone for who they were and not try to change them. And accept and love. And yeah, so that was a hard journey as well. Thinking that you can see beyond what other people can see, and they're all supposed to think the same way. And
well, it makes you question yourself. It makes you look, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
I also was born clairvoyant. So I spent most of my childhood in a timeout for apparently giving secrets away, because I had no idea that what I saw everybody couldn't see. And I was always in trouble for saying things that I saw, but they assumed I was telling a secret. And so it was very frightening to me that I was in trouble for just speaking.
I can relate to that too. I was like the truth sayer and nobody wanted to hear it.
I'll get you one. So I have 4 sisters, right?
Uh-huh.
And they, my father was, if you know my sister, she was one of the stars of Happy Days. My father
Yes.
was, won 7 Emmys and 4 Tonys. He was one of the biggest stars in the world. And my sisters actually did TV shows. They literally did a TV show called Biography about my father.
Uh-huh.
And never told me. So there was a biography about my father and his daughters, and they did it. And there were only 4 daughters.
You were not included.
Then they did a TV show with Mary Lou Henner called Sisters. It's called Sisters. It was a TV show called Sisters. They did the TV show without me.
Oh, ouch. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. By this time, we were adults. By this time, it made total sense. It was, I have a sister today named Nancy. I love her. She loves me. We love each other. She says, Candace, you have said your entire life, I don't get you. And she said this to me 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You have said your entire life, I don't get you. I love you more than anything. I love you. I get you. I know you. Stop it. I'm so sick of hearing you tell me that I don't get you. And she said, I love you forever. She said, but never tell me you can heal someone with your hands, because I'll never believe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a very humbling place to start to learn to identify, which I did as a very little girl. You don't have to be right. It doesn't have to be the only way.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have communication that indicates that others have agreed. You just have to know what you know, and it has to be so undying and passionate. Passion is Passion, right? Pass, 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 I, me, on, on. When you're passing yourself on, and you cannot not, because you're a visionary and you see and you know what you see, and you know the world would be better if you could communicate that with someone. You have to be okay with those that not are better than you, less than you, didn't keep up, or on a different journey. You just have to experience the differences are what make us the same. If every human being on the planet is different, like you said, I have a twin sister. We're different. I know identical twins. They're still different. If every single human being on the planet is different, that makes us the same.
Yeah. Yes. That's the common denominator, that you're different.
I love it.
Yeah. Wow. I could talk to you for hours.
I know.
We don't have time.
7 days a week, Monday through Friday, I heal people.
Yeah.
Saturdays, I have my healing academy, and Sundays, I do free events.
Yeah, you are not only so gifted at what you do, from what I see online, you share yourself, and you're so giving, you're so generous. And it's different than a lot of other healers that do things, do what they do.
I don't know any other. I mean, I know foreign healers. I don't know any people. I don't know. I didn't know that. You mean people don't want to share what they do?
Not meaning what you do exactly, but people who do their own method of their own healing. No, I don't see it. I just feel like you stand out as being, you do a lot of service, it seems like, for others. Do you get that too, Kim?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I was very impressed with like the balance of giving and receiving from you. Like, I feel like you see your heart shining through of why, your why. You know what I mean?
I train everyone to do my modality, which is copywritten and trademarked by me. It's my modality. I created it, right? It only exists. It only works. It will only fire in the art of service, in the mechanism of giving. It doesn't live to make money. It won't work if you use it. It won't work if you abuse it. It won't work if you try to get away with something with it. If you're using it to prove, it won't work. It'll dismantle. The way I created it, I've taught professionally for the last 36 years, my human behavioral class, and I developed this modality through that. So it's foolproof. There is no way to bypass that.
Yeah.
If you are not head, intellect down, heart, connector up, it won't fire.
Yeah. Wow. You have to be open. So can you tell us more about some of, like, can you heal anything, or like, what are some examples of the types of healings you do?
Well, firstly, I'm a conduit. God owns all of us. He lends us to earth and brings us home. So this isn't what I can do. It's my hands, and I've healed blindness, or people that are crippled, or broken bones, or cancer, anything and everything. A little boy was going to heaven a couple of months ago, and the parents called me and asked me if I would on Zoom say a blessing, and I FaceTimed instead, and I did a 15-minute healing on him. And after about 5 minutes, he kind of winked at me. After about 10 minutes, he started giggling, and after about 15 minutes, he jumped off the couch and went and ate a pizza.
Oh,
Wow.
it's amazing.
He
Go ahead. Go ahead. You have
he
more.
he did end up passing several months later,
Oh,
but I won't. I think the medical community had a lot to do with that. I won't say any more about that, but if you go on my Instagram or Facebook, you'll watch me working on a little girl who has a hump on her back. And I'm not touching her. I'm a foot away from her, but you'll watch her whole spine moving and coming back into order.
wow.
It's just
Wow.
using energy. If you know how to tap in. Look, what if you tried to plug your phone into the wall, but you didn't know where the outlet was? You would just think the outlet was broken, the phone was broken, or it was all bogus. But the moment you find the outlet and you know how to plug in, it's as simple as water.
I know. I've seen your videos.
Yeah, me too.
Incredible. Mind blowing.
Well, do either one of you have a neck ache or a backache or anything go a headache? I can just heal you right now.
Yeah.
What about anxiety? Physical.
I can absolutely help you with anxiety, no problem, Kim. But this is where what I'll do is I'll work in your head, and it'll calm down, and it'll make you feel better. But it'll also, I will strongly suggest you get in my human behavioral class.
It's not mental anxiety. It's actually like heart racing and physical anxiety. And if you talked about breast implant illness, and I got my breast implants out, and I'm still having detox side effects from it.
If you'll go ahead and stand up, I'm so proud of you, by the way. Congratulations. So everybody on the planet went and got tattoos, right? Now everybody on the planet is having them taken off.
Yeah, the trend. I have tattoos too.
Okay, so Eden, you'll feel this too if you're on my screen. Whoever Skylar and Scott are, they'll be having a healing.
Okay.
So I'm working in your chest right now. You're going to start to feel a heat or a tingling. You may feel a coolness. You might feel pushed forward or pulled back. What are you feeling right now?
Like a pressure kind of right here.
Okay, so Eden, if you have anything going on, anything like acid reflux or heart or lung or any kind of stuff going on, you'll start feeling it as well. If you don't, you can tell me what's going on in you, and I can heal 1,000 ailments all at the same time, 1,000 different ailments. I do that on my global events once a month. But if you tell me what's going on, I can send it to you as well. But for a moment, let me help Kim.
Okay.
So Kim, if you can, you're not holding your phone, right?
I am, but because it keeps almost dying. I'm having weird tech issues today. So I think it has enough juice to stand up for a few minutes.
Best if you can put yes, there you go. Okay. Now I'm going to go deeper into your lungs. Is this audio or video, guys?
Both.
Okay, so anyone that's on a video right now can put their hands up to the screen and feel this too. If they watch this 2 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, they can still receive this healing. My healings don't live in space and time. They're present. So whenever you come back and watch this, you'll be having a healing again.
Mm.
Okay, what are you feeling now, Kim?
Like pressure kind of going up and down right here.
Okay, I'm going to start expanding that. Hey, do you feel that spreading across your chest yet?
It feels like strange, like my heart is like opening.
Yeah, because I'm opening it. By the way, every human being on the planet can do this. All you need is willingness. Willingness is the key that opened every lock there was or wasn't. Okay, I'm going to send cool air in now. You feel cool air going in yet?
It almost feels like putting icy hot on, like that.
So that means you still have inflammation in there.
Mm.
Mm.
So I'm just cooling it down even more. Where are you feeling it, Eden?
You know what? I keep getting the chills for one thing. Okay.
Everywhere or just in your head?
Body.
Okay, so that means that you've got too much inflammation in your whole body and your body is cooling off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you stand up and send it into your belly.
Just where all the extra weight is.
Well, if you don't mind standing up, I'm gonna do a healing for you.
No, I wasn't saying it like that. I was like, you're targeting the right place.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay.
You can also, if I blow, can either one of you feel wind in your face?
I just did right here.
It just proves there's no such thing as separation. If there's two computers in between us, you're in a different state than I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm blowing through my computer
Hmm.
and you can feel me and feel wind on your face. Then all of the bullshit we've been taught, it's only out of fear and separation.
Mm.
Yeah.
God and good are the same word. If it's God, it's good. If it's good, it's God. If it's not good, it's your individuality. Drop the self and come to the center.
Mm.
All right, Eden, I'm going into your belly now.
Okay.
Let me know when you start feeling that, Eden.
Not yet. It's like a tingling now.
So it'll be heat, tingling, or coolness is direct healing. Pressure, movement, swaying back and forth is the actual ailment opening, dislocating.
That's what I have. I have tingling and swaying back and forth.
Well, that's your muscular structure, probably in your lungs, unraveling. Have you taken any tests to see how many toxins or plastics or?
I just found out there was mold and bacteria, so I've been on a lot of detox supplements and regimens.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, just come see me and we'll just detox you 1,000% faster.
You know, we need to fly to Texas.
No, you can do it on Zoom. I mean,
Oh.
fly to Texas, come see me. But we're doing it right. As a matter of fact, I'll be in Santa Barbara in April.
Oh.
My baby son just opened his Michelin-starred restaurant.
Oh, wow. In Santa Barbara?
Yeah. Well, my older son has a Michelin-starred restaurant in Santa Barbara also.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know who my sons are?
I don't think so. I'm in Santa Clarita area, but so like,
Joe Rogan talks about my sons at least once a week.
Oh, who are,
oh, we'll have
Uh,
to go, Kim.
my oldest son has his sushi omakase at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills. He also has them in Encino. He has them in Santa Barbara. He has them in Texas, Miami.
Wow.
He has them in Houston, Seattle, Montreal, Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
He has a restaurant called Not a Damn Chance. When he was little, his favorite food was In-N-Out Burger.
uh,
So he created his own In-N-Out Burger called Not a Damn Chance.
Wow, how
And
creative.
then he has something called Pasta Bar. He's a Michelin star for his pasta bar.
Whoa.
As a Michelin star for his omakase, for his sushi restaurant.
Proud mama.
that's awesome.
Oh, I'll keep going. I have 2 daughters too.
Let's just talk about our kids on
Yes.
this podcast.
And then can we
while
talk
we get
about our
healed.
grandkids?
Yeah. We don't have that yet, but
All right. How are you feeling now, Kim?
I feel like chills everywhere.
Take a long, slow, deep breath. How's the anxiety?
I feel it feels less, but I still feel like kind of like a weird feeling right here.
And now?
It feels less.
I'm working in both of your abdomens now. When we're done, I'll work in your brains to calm that down.
Mine feels very tight.
It's getting tight right now.
Yeah.
That will only last about 30 to 45 seconds, and then it'll loosen up. Has it loosened up?
Yeah.
Feel any heat in there now?
Yeah.
Long, slow, deep breath. I also do chakra balancings once a week.
Mm.
I balance my chakras every day, but I offer it to my clients once a week. It's highly, highly important when you're going through a detox to keep your chakras balanced so
Mm.
the body can handle the detox.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Maybe that's a key for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think every human being should have their chakras balanced every morning, right before breakfast. You know, take a bath, have your chakras balanced, say your prayers.
Mm. I
Not
love that.
necessarily in that order, but
Right. So does rapid detox like through healing? Can you do that in a group or you do that one-on-one?
as you like it.
Mm.
I have free events, $35 events, private events. You can fly in and work with me however you like.
Hmm.
And what I struggle with most, except for not, I don't know about the internal, but is the outside is weight. Do you do anything with that?
I certainly do.
Mm.
That's my human behavioral work. So they're
Yeah.
12-week courses, but I'm talking about I've worked with 100 different people with borderline personality disorder. None of them are borderline anymore. I've worked with schizophrenics. I've worked,
Oh,
I mean, billionaires come to me to learn how to make more money or learn how to be kind to their wives or
wow.
spouses. So it's not for any one group, it's for everyone, but you're going to begin to learn how to take off the weight of the mind, right? Because it's WAIT that causes WIGHT.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's the interaction with the fear of waiting that causes us to become sediment, that causes the mind to start to develop, to give us the antidote to why that fear is real, to keep us from moving forward, that takes us into whatever that activity is that supplements or like why people drink alcohol or eat too many cookies is because it sedates them so they don't have to have the feeling that they don't know how to. We can't take our heads off, but we can numb them. That's why people are learning how to meditate. I started teaching meditation in the early 70s, right? People are learning how to meditate so that they can start to see the joke of the lie of the mind, that it's separate from who they are. But what I'm teaching people isn't a passive meditation. It's an active meditation, eyes open, mouth moving, but you don't connect to the little chatter going on in the box that sits on top of your shoulders. You're connected to your heart and your intuition. And you take that action, no matter what, directly related to what's going on in front of you, calling you into the forum that teaches you that you're greater than your own fear. And once you've done that a couple of times, you start losing the weight of the mind and the physical weight comes off because you don't need the what do you call it? The comfort of that protection so much anymore. But it's not ever going on a diet. We know that went out with the 80s. It's not going on a diet. It's not ever looking at what every time you get on the scale, you either say I lost a pound, I'm going to eat today, or I gained a pound, I better go on a diet, right? So you're always the same.
Yeah.
All right. How are you ladies feeling now?
I do feel different for sure.
Yeah.
Like lighter, calmer. Yeah. Wow. That's like huge.
Yeah. And my stomach started being like tight and it's not like feels just lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Can we sit down?
Yes, you may absolutely sit down.
Yeah. Now we must more. Yeah, you have received this beautiful gift and you're just sharing it with the world as much as you can. And that's so beautiful. And now our listeners got to experience that as well.
Well, no, they got to experience it. They had the same healing you had.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing. I just want to say about the things that you described about weight loss. I don't know if you say the same thing to everyone, if it's the same story for everyone, but you touched on me again.
Remember we talked about clairvoyancy? We both have it.
Okay, so I didn't know if it was you were actually picking up on my story or my situation, or this is just everybody's story who has to lose weight.
When one doesn't operate out of their intellect, a thought comes through them. They know it doesn't belong to them. It must belong to whatever's going on in front of them.
Yeah.
They only find out the gift that they're offering in their basket when the person in front of them says, oh, that's for me. But there's no ego in it. If no one says that's for me, that's okay too. It just so happens that I hear that all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel very seen.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you can only be seen by the self. Other has no entrance. Other can't see you. So when you're seen by the self, that very scene can be a heart hug instead of an ego fear.
Okay.
I love that. I love that. I want to read this and then you can talk about it. But when you talked about doing Zoom events, free Zoom events you offer once in a while, where hundreds, and I signed up for one actually coming up before you even came on here. But you do Zoom events where hundreds of people from all over the globe come together to heal, bring any ailment, receive immediate relief, whether it's physical pain, emotional distress, or spiritual imbalance. Come as you are and let us find relief with the Silvers healing modality. Imagine screens lighting up with healing energy, connecting souls from every continent in a collective journey towards wellness. That is just amazing. And so can you explain that a little more? And also, like, how did you realize you could do so many at once?
I've never realized anything. You have to understand that realize is REALEYES. Realize isn't something you know and then you do. Realize is something you offer and then you learn. During the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was running inside to protect themselves, and I was running outside to heal people.
Wow.
And I didn't know it, but I had already had COVID. You know, I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and it was 2019, or was it 2019. It was in December, before anyone knew what it was. And then I left in February to go to Dubai. I wanted to go stand in this unbelievable place that was being built there, where there's a temple, a mosque, and a church all in one place that this architect was building. It wasn't even finished at the time, but I heard about it and I had to go stand in it. I was in Dubai when they announced we had a pandemic, and then I went over to Bali to do, I think I was there for 4 or 5 weeks doing different retreats, and we came home after the borders were closed. But when I got back home, everybody was terrified and having those stupid vaccines based in fear, and, you know, all of that fear going on, that fear mongering. So I wore gloves and a mask, and I asked everyone to come, and they went in my garage and they stayed 6 feet apart. But I worked on everybody that showed up, because how do you not take care of people if you can? Then I began working on the technology. I'm building and developing every day, right? What I do doesn't have I think of myself as UCLA. We're a learning college. We don't know what we're doing, because every day something is asked of us, so we're doing something new. I don't know why I say we, me and me. That I began to ask, or clients began to ask me, my mom's in the hospital dying on an intubator. And I would say, get the nurse to hold the phone and FaceTime, and I'll go in and heal her. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
These people were getting off intubators and coming home and being healthy.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So then I started getting like nurses at Cedars-Sinai and, you know, different people. And so then I started doing events, and because of all my TV shows, I think I did my first Gaia TV show like 19 years ago. So then people all over the world started coming, and then of course I could offer them something, because now, remember, Zoom became popular during the pandemic. So then I just started offering it all the time. I think for a couple of months I had my my human behavioral classes for free for anyone in the world that was terrified that they could just come and get some information. And after 9/11, I had a free class called Free Fridays for 9 years, every Friday. So that was the only hour I had free, 12 to 1 on Fridays. And I called it Free Fridays, and people, you know, homeless people came, and prostitutes came, and businessmen came, and actors came. And, you know, and it lasted 9 years, until one day it had served its course. And that course was all about where there's terrorism in our own backyard. So we developed, I guess you turn WE upside down and it's ME upside down and it's WE, but it's the same. That I developed this technology to be able to do this on Zoom by doing it. The more I did, the more that was necessary, the more people were hurt, the more I developed, and the more they came, and the more they came, the more I developed, and the more I developed, the more they came. 1,000 people from all over the world, from, you know, China and South Korea and Russia and Israel and Kenya. And I mean, the whole world is, you know, healing together. And then people are writing my office and saying, you know, my back's been hurting for 50 years and it doesn't hurt anymore, or my cancer's gone, and so, of course, wouldn't you get inspired? I got inspired.
For sure.
Then it was just about the desire to do more. And that's pretty much how, I mean, that's how I got started. My friends used to come to my house and they would chat with me and have coffee, and they'd come back and say, can we talk again? Every time I talk to you, I get a job or a boyfriend or whatever. And then I had 4 kids, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to go get a real job.
Mm,
Well, we'll pay you. I said, "You're
mhm,
gonna pay me to talk to you? That's just ridiculous."
mm.
And they said, "How much do you want?" I'm like, "I don't want anything. I'm going to go get a job." They go, "What do you need?" I said, "I'm going to go get a job and make like whatever I said," which was like $100 an hour. So they go, "Okay, well, we'll pay you." And that's
Uh-huh.
how my business got started.
Mm, wow.
And that's
So
how it runs
do any
36 years later.
kids have that ability?
I'm sorry?
Do any of your kids do healings as well?
No, not one of them. But I've got 3 grandkids. I have a almost 4-year-old, almost 2-year-old, and a 7-month-old, and I've already started training all of them.
I love
Yeah, start them young. Yeah.
They all have, well, all of my kids. I mean, I've never ever in my life used a thermometer
Mhm.
or anything. I just healed my children. That to them it's
Yeah.
just normal. But
Mhm.
my grandkids already know how to feel heat in their hands and to play with that heat, and
Mm,
so that they won't grow up into a world of other and then have to lose their mind, right? They'll just grow up into magic as normal.
Mm.
I mean, right? We we go out of our way to get kids to believe in magic, right? We tell them there's Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, and we'll wake up before them and put the basket outside the front door, and we'll put the money under or the gift under their pillow, and we'll tell them, and we'll create all of these fun things, and we'll put gifts under the tree and say Santa was here and he ate the cookie. And at 7 years old, we dutifully sit all of our kids down and we say, "We're going to tell you the truth. There really isn't magic. I'm Santa and I'm the Tooth Fairy." Why on this earth do we take magic from kids when they're 7? Why on this earth? To this day, my children say, I remember when all my kids came home from school, one at a time, and said, "Mom, how come you didn't tell us there wasn't Santa? That was embarrassing." And I said, "What do you mean there isn't Santa? Of course there's Santa. Just because I've never met him and shook his hand, how dare you say there isn't a Santa? Every
Mhm.
year, there is magic under that tree that I didn't put there." So my children to this day believe in Santa Claus. So do I.
mm,
Magic is our birthright. We
Mhm.
moved to America and we killed off the American Indians instead of learning to co-create with them. They had all the magic. We replaced it with intellect, money, property, and prestige. And there's nothing wrong with money, property, and prestige. But when you replace magic, money, property, and prestige will run out of road quite quickly. When magic prevails, money, property, and prestige just makes it a little bit more fun or a little easier. I prefer first class, don't you? But it's not. Have you ever been to an airport where you watch people getting on first class? You'll actually see them stand there and want to get on first and want everyone to know they're first. And they're all angry that someone's going to get on in front of them and they're not going to get their turn. And they want to be seen. They want everyone to know they paid for that ticket, that's not magic. That's
Mhm.
that's pain. That's suffering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Point.
oh, I'm like mesmerized
I
here.
know.
Wow. I'm so glad you decided to wait for us today and come on the show.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. You are a joy. Yeah.
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 It's
Can you talk a little more before we sign off? Can you talk a little more about the human behavior? Like what can people discover about themselves by being a part of that?
Yeah, so I think 36 years ago when I had my first class, I used to explain it kind of like I teach you how to denail your foot from the floor so that
Mm,
you can get beyond yourself. But back then nobody even knew what yoga or meditation was. Nobody understood. 36 years ago, people still believed in tomorrow. So it was a different kind of course. There's a foundation intensive that I lead every year. It's 3 days. It's about 15, 17 hours. And it teaches you how to manifest, teaches you how to get out of your own way and bring anything into existence you want. I mean, I can think $100,000 check and it'll show up in the mail.
Mm.
mm,
I don't because I don't need it, but when I do, it does. And it's never expected. It's never, or if I don't, it doesn't matter what it is, a trip to Kenya, or I want to go meet silverback gorillas and then and it's just like, and I'm there. This is our birthright. This is for every human being. The human behavioral class is the opposing team, if you will, to therapy. Therapy is dealing with your mind, your thoughts, and helping you with tools and awareness, action steps, I guess, if it's a good therapist, to get out of the rut you're in or to somewhere. What I do, I don't deal with the mind or your thoughts. That's all content. I deal with context. I deal with beyond what you know. So I'm giving you information that allows you to see the same thing differently. Not that you believe it or that it's right for you, but once you're inspired to see that there's something other than the fear of the lie of the mind, the opportunity then is, my job is to inspire you to be willing to risk taking an action beyond what you know. Being kind to the man you think is mean to you, or asking for the raise you can't have, or getting on the airplane you're sure will go down, or whatever it is, there's a conversation that we have. People bring me their 5-year-old kids who wet their bed every night. I have one conversation with the child and they never wet their beds again, or whatever it is. So there isn't one way, but to sit on a platform with 30 or 45 other people and hearing that no matter who raises their hand and asks a question, and I'm serious, no matter who raises their hand and asks a question, everyone on the platform that night will have all their questions met and answered. They don't have to speak with me because it's ontological information. So it's never about the individual and their problem. It's about the possibility of beyond what they know. Once you can start to get the hang of how small and insignificant your fears are, for instance, if you don't want to be afraid, don't think a scary thought. But how many people are addicted to their thinking with kind of this superstition that if I don't worry, it'll go wrong? Well, if you don't worry, how do you know it'll go wrong? How about you just tend to the opportunity? No, I have to watch the rat because it'll bite me. No rat's ever bitten you in your life. The rat's more afraid of you than you are of it. But I have to look in case it comes back, right? So as you begin to look to see that we are raised in the cell of the lie of the mind, and that freedom awaits all of us. Freedom rings as soon as you're willing to take off the cloak of protection that was never needed.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Talk Purpose and Truth podcast. Find out more at talkpurposeandtruth.com. And follow us at Talk Purpose Truth, Instagram and Facebook.